And just something about that, like, I think when we talked to Raf, it was kind of a similar thing where like simple, like very simple things oftentimes make something better because it's not overcomplicated, whether it be
Yeah.
using 32 colors or you got a small team or whatever it is. It just seems like the more simple, very concentrated ideas just really make it
Mhm.
pop more, and make it more
Yeah.
appealing. And I think that really
Mhm.
works in this case.
It
Yeah,
does. It's like playing console games from the era. So pretty
Yeah.
as you were saying.
yeah, and like I said, it was not really intentional. It was just I needed some colors for the
Yeah.
placeholder textures, and it turned out well, so I rolled with it. And
Yeah.
but yeah,
Would you ever bring it?
sorry.
I was going to say, would you ever bring it to console or even VR? Imagine Wisdom in VR. Oh, yes.
Yes, some people are asking about it. Wizordum will come to consoles, right, Scott?
You just
I'm
made me
playing for
think
sure.
about it in VR, and I'm already intrigued.
Um, yeah, I mean, VR has its own challenges. We'll see. Let's
Oh
get the
yeah,
game out
yeah,
first, okay?
yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like you were saying before about the limitations, and it's not just the colors, right?
Yeah.
I also enforced limitations on the level design myself.
Right.
The limited amount of layers, the colors, the
Hmm.
the shapes of the blocks.
Right.
All that kinds of limitations were forcing us to be creative.
Yeah.
I think that also contributes a lot to the visual style and what we have.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think oftentimes, just limitations breed creativity. Some of the best video games
exactly.
ever created were made in times where so much less was, available to you than is today.
Hmm.
And a lot of those games have a much more lasting impact and charm and just overall look and feel than a lot of things we get nowadays. So yeah, I think limitations are not always a bad thing. Can make a lot of
Yeah.
really, really cool stuff.
Yeah. So the problem was that because you have the powerful tools to break those limitations and just go beyond them whenever
Yeah.
you need it, right? And the real challenge was where's the limit? Where should we stop, right?
Right.
When should we push and where should we stop? And a lot of times, Tamash, the level designer, was pushing me a lot about like, we should do this, we should increase the layer limitation of the levels, we should add this, we really need this. And I was like, no, we need to keep it simple, we need to keep it
Yeah.
low, we need to keep it. And whenever he was pushing me like constantly, it was like a sign that we should move boundaries a bit.
Yeah.
So, and it was like that usually, yeah. So me and Tamash are really, really working well together, like,
Yeah.
just,
What is it you're most proud about? When you look at the game as a whole, you're like, that particular aspect of it, you're really proud of.
I was talking the other day with someone, and it's like I can really feel the game. I spent like 3 or 4 years in the game, on and off, but I'm enjoying the game constantly all the time. In this state as it is right now, we have like comparing to early access, and now we have new sounds, we have more visual effects, we have spell upgrades, we have so many more stuff, and it's a pleasure playing the game. And
Yeah.
I'm really proud how it feels, and I'm really proud that we can take this out to the world in 2 days, and overall it feels a really nice product.
Yeah.
One of the major differences is from early access to now is the real-time spell system. When the game first went out there and people did their videos and talking about the new game Wizardum, it did not have the current real-time spell system. So anyone who played it back then should jump back and needs to jump back in and see how different it feels.
Sorry, Mayo. The last early access version has spells already.
Yeah, what I mean, like when it first came out in early access, and that's when everyone talks about it, that initial time, and they make their videos about it. That version of the game that people saw is quite different from how it feels to play now. And so, if they haven't been keeping up with it, they're going to be in for a nice surprise. When
I know a lot of people do like hop in when early access first drops, and then they'll kind of see like, oh, the game's being updated, but they kind of won't play it until it's fully
Exactly.
released again.
They tune
Yeah,
out.
so-
yeah. I have a question. When did we make the decision for the ice staff to take a lot of ice shards to kill a frozen enemy? I don't remember when we did that, but that was also a big change. We made it to where frozen enemies with the ice staff would break instantly from being shot with something that was not the ice staff. So you can freeze a bunch of enemies and then shatter them or switch a weapon. You can't shoot them more with the ice stuff to break them unless you shoot a lot more, and that kind of pushes more weapon variety.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's in the game for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. I think maybe we just made it take more ice shards.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
That was a huge surprise to me when I was playing, because I was thinking, well, if Mayo's working on this, then surely weapon swapping is of some importance. So I was sitting there testing it, and I was like, oh, there's ice. There's got to be a break. And then it was just like, just a couple more ice shards. I'm like,
the variety, like it doesn't need to be about weapon swapping so much, but like it's because it creates such a cool decision, because it's not just freeze them and then switch weapons. It's not just that. You also have the alternate fire of the ice staff that insta shatters anyone who's frozen, but it costs 10 ice shards. So you have the player has a cool decision: freeze a room and then switch to your fireballs or your shotgun or your melee and break them all with one shot, or use the ice shards for the alt fire and shatter them all at once. What do you want to do? What is the resource cost that you want to spend in this moment? That's what makes it interesting. It's not just A and B. It's not just do this and then do this. It's do this and then now what are you going to do depending on the situation? Right. And that makes it so much more cooler to use.
And there's even more. I mean, you have spells now, so you can freeze enemies and push them into the walls.
Yeah.
They will shatter. Right.
It's great.
Or you can blink through them with the sorceress, and they will also shatter. So, there are so many possibilities how to play Wizordum right now, and you can get really creative with spells and weapons and stuff like that. And that's what I meant before, that playing the game is fun right now. I can play it in a different way. It's fun all the time.
And we added the store. That was one of the other big changes, because early on the treasure was just for points. That's one of the first questions I asked. I said, okay, well, if you're hiding away treasure, why do you want people to find treasure? And so we eventually added the upgrade store. So if you are actively exploring, you find enough to upgrade your weapons and upgrade the alternate attacks, get the magic attacks have a second charge level. And all these things start building on each other to create a more engaging system and more progression for the player.
So from 8-Bit Vic, it's a simple one, but how is Wizardum so badass? That's all. That's a good one. Oh, good.
Bit rhetorical.
Who is this question for? Scott.
Scott.
You want me to answer that?
Well, a lot of these questions are very Scott heavy, so I would say, if Primos,
Scott should answer that.
I guess because of the talent I have with me on the game. I mean, Mayo is chipping in with his spells and weapon upgrades and all that. I have too much work on the levels, and that's why.
Well,
fair enough.
Vic, there's your answer.
Good gameplay. It's fun gameplay.
I mean, shit. Even the gameplay is great, but just visually, it's just cool. So, I mean, you got that down pat. From Unabridged Gamer via Discord, what would you say was the most important lesson you've learned over all 3 years working in the industry? Or all these years working in the industry, not 3. I read that wrong.
I would say pick your projects well, because you might get stuck on one for years and it can drain you, and if it's not fun, you'll get older much faster. So
you don't want it to feel like work too much.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. And I'm working on 2 projects right now, Vexlands and Wizordum, and I love both. So I love Mondays, I hate Fridays. So I'm living a good life.
That's fair.